something weird on your face. Oh, never mind, that's your nose. Isn't your nose a little tiny, blunt and funny? Like somebody chopped it from the tip? These were the kind of comments I got for my nose for a very long time. So soon I began to look at my nose differently. I thought it to be an ugly fat thing on my face that amused all the eyes that saw it. I started to spend more time in front of the mirror, looking at my nose from every angle, trying to press the tip of my nose to see if I could get that point. I constantly asked for reassurance if my fat nose was too obvious. I grew anxious and self-conscious when I was around people and always tried to use my hand to hide my nose. I was showing symptoms of body dysmorphic disorder. And for most of you who think that it's nothing more than people being obsessed with how they look and appear, let me tell you that it's not just about how they appear, but the problem lies much deeper, one that needs to be addressed. It's a disease, it's a disorder where about 1 in 50 people are affected, a very common disorder. So what is body dysmorphic disorder? A mental disorder where people either imagine a certain flaw in the body, or if the flaw is actual, it is exaggerated in the mind. I had a friend in school whom I saw growing from being talkative and feeling very pretty to being quiet and underconfident as she entered her teens. She never agreed for a photo, and even if she did, she never smiled for one. Her reason for being camera conscious was that she had a rabbit tooth which she found very funny and unpresentable, and hence she chose to not smile. That was also the reason why she kept quiet, because she thought it would make it even more evident. But to all of us, her tooth didn't look any funny. It was just very normal. That's when I realized that maybe my nose isn't as funny as I think it to be. Maybe it's just an exaggerated image in my mind. And guess what? It was. This brings me to the question that what made me and many others like me even form such a strong opinion about the body parts. And one of the strongest reasons is a disease named perfection. Yes, perfection is a disease created by this world that plants the seed in all our heads from the very beginning. Everybody wants those perfect features. High cheekbones, big eyes, big lips, sharp nose, prominent collarbones, etc., etc. Who made these the perfect features? Because of which every other type is either flawed or imperfect. We live in a world where we are asked to look in a certain way, where the definition of beauty is first associated with the shape, size, and color of your body. It is but natural for all of us to judge how flawed or flawless we and people around us are. Hence, when our family, friends, and peers start getting critical about our appearances and start noticing flaws, it makes many more conscious and critical of their own appearance. And when it gets stronger, it's when you lead to body dysmorphia. My friend was too constantly mocked for her rabbit tooth. The media feeds that spoke about the perfect skin, the perfect smile, only added to her mockery. That made her feel more self-conscious and depressed. While she did not reach the stage of going to a dentist to get her tooth repaired, there are many who reach out to the dermatologists, to the plastic surgeons, and spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to get those perfect features. Recently, there was a case of an Iranian woman, Sahar Tabar, who underwent 50 plastic surgeries in a bid to look like Angelina Jolie. It only resulted in deforming her face. There are umpteen such cases where people undergo multiple surgeries only to let go of their perfect self. And when they look into the mirror, they are still waiting for perfection. This reminds me that I had a conversation with this amazing personality. He had a huge patch on his neck, a black hairy patch on his neck, which he embraced so confidently, which was like the most beautiful part of his body. He told me that at one point of time in life, his biggest goal was to be accepted by everybody, which he didn't get. He was looked at differently and always felt out of place. It killed him from inside, and he was ashamed of that big patch on his neck. One day, his class teacher took him to a side and made him understand that people will look at you differently as long as you look at yourself differently. People see what you show them. So show them you're fine. Slowly he understood that the biggest acceptance he needed was not from anybody else but from himself. That was the step he took towards change, and probably the biggest step, because if he didn't, he wouldn't have moved ahead in his life. He had a message for me, and I want to share it with all of you today. He said, "You are not meant to be perfect. You're all meant to be flawed. You don't need everybody to love you. Just few good people, and you should be one of them." His story helped me come out of my phase. I stood in front of the mirror and wondered, if he can embrace his flaws so perfectly and confidently, what is even wrong with my nose in the first place? And slowly, I grew positive about myself. I still get teased for my nose, but now I take it in good humor. I've understood that if perfection is a disease, then accepting and embracing your flaws is the cure. Pretty is your smile. Charm is the confidence you wear. And beauty is you, not your body. Beauty is you, not your body. Thank you.